Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of one band. And this year we're celebrating 35 years with this band. It's none other than Dave Matthews Band. Started in 1991 and is still going strong, putting out new music. And we are so excited to be fans of this band, things that have not been seen often. And that's exactly why we're documenting the fan base behind Dave Matthews Band's success. If you haven't done a lot of history digging on this band, maybe you just found them. They've just got the longest history and the coolest history. And I really invite y'all to dig into that. The band is well documented forevermore. Whenever people take music history, and Dave Matthews Band is probably already in it, but it's going to stay in history because of what they've been able to do. But with this show, I am documenting the fans that kind of made this all happen, because Dave Matthews Band is a grassroots band that really started. I mean, in 1991, if you think about the technology that was available, it just was nothing like the lives we're living now. And so I want to make sure that the fanhood goes down in history so that future generations can come back and go, okay, there's some stories documented of fans telling exactly why this was a big deal and exactly why they followed them for however long their journey was. And so thank you. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast, where you're going to hear every episode a different fan come on the show to talk about why they love this music, whether it's someone that's been listening since 1991 or someone that just found them 2 months ago. Everyone found this music in a different way. And that's what's so cool about every story. So if this is your first time listening to the Space Between Podcast, welcome. You can go wherever you want in the space between, because you could go to episode 2 or episode 45 or episode 200, and every single one is completely different. And hopefully that keeps you from getting bored, right? Everyone is different. So you have over 200 fans that have come forward to share their story. And the stories they have just impacted other people's lives by them sharing their fanhood, and continue to impact my life. So I'm so thankful. So thankful to be doing this. And this episode, of course, is like all the others. I have a Dave Matthews Band fan on the show to talk about why he likes this band, why he loves this band. And so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell us, who are you? Where are you from? Or where do you live? And tell us something about you that has nothing to do with Dave Matthews Band, whether it, whatever you do in life that you want to share. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, hello, my name is Connor. I am from Crystal Lake, Illinois, which is about an hour northwest of downtown Chicago. And pretty much I have surrounded my entire identity with the Dave Matthews Band, whether if it's collecting the posters or literally showing up to the amphitheaters 6 hours before showtime to line up for said posters. Pretty much my entire day and night revolves around this band, and it has literally since I was born.
I can't wait to dig into your journey, because I do not hear that often. I mean, there are a few younger people that have been on the show, as young as 8, if you'll believe that or not. And just to hear, it literally has been their whole lives. So I can't wait to hear yours. So Illinois, very north of Chicago. Do you live close to the lakes? What do you do for fun are you outdoors? Do you have a cat or dog? What do you do? What do you do outside of Dave Matthews Band?
I mean, my family and I, we like going on hikes and going on walks. Since Illinois is very flat and there's not a lot of nature-y areas, we have to travel, if we want to see mountains or big waterfalls.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we like just going to the city. Before we got super
Yeah.
crazy with the Dave Matthews Band, we'd go at least once a month and just spend a day in downtown Chicago and just wander around because it really
Yeah.
is a great city. Lots of history down there, great food, great things to see, and just people watching. Even it's truly a masterpiece of a place. But
It really is.
yeah, it is.
I like Chicago. I've only been twice and for very short parts or very short time, but it seemed really cool. Just, I mean, I'm a girl from a small town, so I think any city like that is just going to impress me. I'm glad that you guys get a chance to go down there for fun. It's always cool to have something near home that is fun to do because, of course, I like to leave Northwest Arkansas, and our big cities next to us are Kansas City, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit.
We are. I've never been there, but we have lived there. And kind of a fun fact, I don't mean to take over your show, but
Please
they
do.
haven't had a full length Dave Matthews Band show in 10 years. So
Mhm.
they deserve it. They've
I'm
waited
super
a very
excited.
long time. And
They've waited. Yeah, come on, Dave. Don't forget about barbecue's good everywhere. But let's talk about Kansas City barbecue. Dang, it's so good. I don't know if you've had the chance to try it. It is so good. And if I can just plug a restaurant, like if you're going to be in the Kansas City area, Q39. It's only three things you got to remember. Q39. Go there, try their barbecue, get their appetizer that has bacon wrapped shrimp with coleslaw. It will change your life. So, Q39, if you're headed to Kansas City, there's a lot of great barbecue there and a lot of history, of course. And I'll brag a little bit. Some great sports teams, right? Like, yay, go Chiefs. I know not everybody's a fan, but like that's the professional sports that we watch here in Northwest Arkansas because Arkansas has no professional sports. So only 3 hours north we have the Chiefs and we're pretty proud of them. So let's go back in time and apparently we're going to go back to your youth to where you're small because I know that your parents are fans too. So I'm sure this is how this all got started. But take us back to the very first moment where you remember even kind of hearing about this band.
yeah, so I unfortunately never went to a show until I was 12 years old, which was in 2015. And I know I skipped about 12 years of life. So I'm going to go back to when I was little. My first real memories of falling in love with the Dave Matthews Band was every about once a month or so, we would have friends that owned an RV and we'd go up camping with them.
Mhm.
My parents were big Dave Matthews Band fans. They're big Dave Matthews Band fans. Our whole group we kind of hung around with was big Dave Matthews Band fans. So all the music we listened to was Dave Matthews Band all the time. And I just remember being little and thinking that it was so great. Like in my brain, I kind of had issues remembering who sang who and what sang what,
Mhm.
picking the differences out between each band. But Dave Matthews Band always stuck out to me, especially at a young age, just because it was so unique. You got the horns and the
Right.
fiddle and the rock setting, and everyone around him thought it was cool. So I thought at a young age, Dave Matthews was almost this demigod that everyone liked because his music was so awesome. The first two albums I ever owned was Big Whiskey and the Grugrux King and Bush Stadium
Awesome.
live tracks. I don't remember the number. I know they call live tracks by numbers, like live tracks 13, for instance.
Yeah, I can't keep up with that. Yeah.
I'm usually really good with number related stats, but if it has to do with most live tracks, I will forget it. So St. Louis live
Yeah.
tracks is the other one that I spent the most time listening to when I was
Dude,
little.
so good. So
The two
good.
step
I
opener,
love the St. Louis.
yeah,
Mhm.
two step opening the show just always blew me away. Even songs that a lot of people don't like Cornbread and Louisiana Bayou. I love those songs listening to them
Mhm.
today because I enjoyed them so much in my youth. Hearing
Yeah.
that at the
Gosh, that
campground.
was a great live tracks. So, 12 years old, you go to your first concert. I'm sure you're excited because this was something that you were familiar with.
I don't really have like a big stance on children against children going to concerts. Like friends of ours literally
Oh,
have
I love
have
it.
infants that they bring to the shows. It's really cool
Of
to get
course.
them to see this talent at a young age, especially since when they're older, Dave will be very old himself, or he might not even be with
That's
us
right.
anymore. So definitely get as many
That's
shows in
right.
as you can. But originally growing
Absolutely.
up, it was kind of my parents' thing to do the Dave Matthews thing. Like they were big with like partying and stuff back in the day, tailgating, lots of alcohol being consumed.
Hell yeah.
So that part of it wasn't necessarily safe for children. And,
Of course.
you know, part of me still makes jokes, like resentful jokes saying, "Oh, I could have seen Roy, could have been to the caravan," all in good humor, of course, cuz yeah, and in October of 2014, my parents actually got divorced, and it was a bit of a troublesome moment in my childhood. I never really went to therapy to kind of heal from that because Dave Matthews Band's music was my therapy, and that healed me from
Mm.
the trauma that I went through when I was younger. So we were living in Wisconsin at the time. My dad, my sister, and I moved down back to Illinois, which is where a lot of my dad's family lives. And we look at the tour bill. You know, summer break is on. My sister and I aren't in school, and we say, "Hey, Dad, let's go to the Dave Matthews show tonight at Alpine Valley." And he was thrilled because he never thought that we would have been interested in seeing the band. So the first night we went up there, sure, it's for fun. 7/25/15 was the date of my first show, and it blew both of us away. It blew my father away. And the next morning, we bought tickets, went up to Alpine again to what would have eventually been Live Tracks 36, the second night of Alpine
Wow.
Valley 2015. And that is what blossomed our love for Dave Matthews Band to this level of now we're going to be going to all these shows. We're going to be making the most of it. And really, the journey that this band has brought me on has made me so grateful for everything, and it's all just from music.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about that a little more. I'm a big mental health advocate, being a nurse for 15 years and spending a lot of that in mental health. I can personally identify how Dave Matthews Band really changed the wiring in my brain and really saved me from a lot of possible bad decisions that I could have made. And I love talking about that because music is such a powerful tool. It really is. And it is used in the medical profession as forms of therapy. Music therapy is a very real thing. I don't think there's enough belief in it that music can actually help heal you. I don't think people believe in that. And I'm excited that so many studies are being done to prove that this does help. And so, how can we deny that? And it's so cool when it ends up being my favorite band that you say that about, Dave Matthews Band. What were some helpful parts about the music? What did you find in the music that was comforting to you?
A lot of times it was the lyrics, especially the more love-driven songs, and some of the death-ridden songs too, if we want to look at both ends of the spectrum. I just remember I was in sixth grade at the time, so I was still very young. My brain didn't
Mhm.
process that like it does now,
Of
12
course.
years later. But songs that really had deep lyrics are what helped me through, helped me heal from that the most. I mean, when I was little, Two Step, like I mentioned a little bit ago, that song, just celebrating life and just being grateful for everything that you have, even through times of trauma. That song always just brings me immense joy because it really allows me to take a step back, look at the bigger picture of what's going on around me. There could be people that are dealing with much worse. I could be dealing with much worse, and just taking a break to just celebrate everything that I have and everyone that I love, and just taking a moment of gratitude. Two Steps always big one. Pig, the same sort of
Mm,
message. That song's always resonated
yeah,
with me very well. Trying to think of a
I,
few
I
more.
agree. Both of those songs are powerful songs, powerful. Okay. Pig is one of those things that it's one of those songs that I really cling to and put it on a lot of my podcast merch. And I just sit and I think about how young Dave himself was when he wrote that. Those words and those thoughts in general, I mean, I could have never conceived those big thoughts and ideas at that age. And so, again, that just proves to me not only is he such an amazing musician and playing instruments, but also, writing lyrics. And that's a whole other, award, right? Like you've got your songwriters and then you've got your music and they come together. But Dave wrote a lot, if not most of their songs and their lyrics. And that blows me away that he's able to do both sides so well.
I mean, Dave is just a natural poet. I mean, his ability to both write and compromise music, along with writing all of his lyrics, and not just writing any lyrics, but writing real deep and compelling lyrics to a lot of his songs that can resonate with the entire fan base in so many different ways. It's just a talent that most other artists don't even come close to reaching, in my opinion. And I'm truly grateful that we are all coexisting with Dave Matthews Band at this time, because we can all celebrate, some true amazing music with a great community of people as well.
Yes, yes. So fast forward in time to where you're out on your own. Of course, that changed Dave Matthews Band a little bit because you're going by yourself now. Tell us about your first solo show without family.
Fun fact, I've actually never been to a show without family before. And
Amazing.
it's not fear. I've been to concerts alone before. I've been to concerts with just my girlfriend, for instance. I've been to concerts with just my friends. But I feel like
Yeah.
Dave Matthews Band, in the early stages of us going, healed us from catastrophe to where that's our bonding experience. And we connect that with the traveling, and we get to meet so many great people. And as a family, that's our family bonding time. And I don't know if I'll
I
ever
love that.
want to go to a Dave Matthews Band show without my two concert partners. And I'll forever be grateful for the relationship that I had built with them, with driving thousands of miles on the road, seeing this great band, and doing a lot of crazy, silly things in between. And just reflect on it now, even just talking on this podcast, and just feeling very grateful for all the memories that I've
Yes.
had over the years, and will continue to grow. We're not slowing down until Dave does. So
That's right.
just
That's
tons of more
right. In
memories.
whatever form.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talk about it often on this show, because we're celebrating 35 years, that brings up the topic of, wow, how have they done it this long and how much longer do we have? And most people say, Dave is gonna be the guy that performs, like you said, until, physically he can't, or something like that. And so I think whatever's next after Dave Matthews Band, it's going to be cool to watch. And it's going to be cool to watch that transition. And I think that we're never going to have to go without them. And that's a good feeling, because I think that they're artists who are in it for life. This is literally all that Stefan has known,
Yeah.
like this is all he's known. And so, like, what is next? I think about things like Dave being a grandfather now, and everyone's children getting so much older. And so they're just naturally transitioning into new phases of life, like we continue to. And what will that look like? Like, what does being grandparents look like when you're on the road most of the year? What does that look like? And so I'm excited that I think that we will get to see both sides. But for right now, I'm so thankful to have what I believe to be one of the strongest periods of the band's existence. I'm so happy with what they're doing, especially let's talk about this year, 2026. 35th anniversary, and they came out the door just like they were on fire, like fire dancers for real. Like they didn't hold back. And I think it's something that we see yearly. They continue to amp up as the tour goes, right? And you're like, but I don't know where the peak is. I don't know where it is, right? So then that makes us want to chase even harder because as soon as you get home, or you pick this show and then you go home, they've done something better than the last time. And you're like, I didn't know that was possible. Let's talk about this year a little bit. What do you think about the tour so
I
far?
mean, the band's just off to an absolutely incredible start, and literally every single show has had so many great highlights, and it really makes you wonder, like, they're doing, I say this in the kindest way possible, they're doing more than they have to at this point in their careers. Many
Yes.
artists who are touring for 35 years, they just write up as cookie cutter of a set list as they can go, play for an hour, and then go back home. They have their money. That's all that matters to
Yeah.
them. But I
Yeah.
feel like with Dave, and not just the growing fan base, but the growing chemistry between the bandmates too. I mean, we got Kit Kat
Yes.
Jam busted out in Dallas in May. I never thought that they would do that full band. I think it was Buddy that said, either Buddy or Stefan that said on an interview that they really wanted to do Kit Kat Jam. And it went years until they busted it out. And, I've lived on the
Mm-hmm.
couch so far this entire tour. All of my shows have been from at home, watching from either SiriusXM or the couch tour. And my mind was
Right.
just fried, like totally stunned that they busted that out kind of out of nowhere, too. Tons of other songs, too.
Yes.
Tons of fiddle guests. All of them have been great. I know there's a fan favorite out there, not to mention anyone's names, but all of them have been
Nope,
great.
no names. Someone I recorded with, I guess it was yesterday, he said without saying, he was like, does it appear that Dave Matthews Band may be auditioning people? I'm like, well, I don't know. Anything I'm going to give you is just a guess, right? But what do you think about that? Like, I never thought about it. Honestly, I was just like, wow, they are having lots of fiddle guests and we love it, right? Like, yay, I love it. But it seems like the band really likes it, right?
I mean, I think earlier in time, Dave was very reluctant to bring back another fiddle player because Boyd Tinsley was such an anchor point for this band. Like, for those
Yeah.
who were at the
Founding
shows,
member. Another
in the early 2000s, like Boyd was the hot topic. Like he'd go out in the front of that
Yes.
stage and perform, and everybody would just be losing their minds. And
Yeah.
it's been 8 years since the band has had a fiddle player full time, and I feel like Dave misses the sound. Don't get me like, I mean, the band sounds great without it. Like Buddy,
Yeah.
Tim, Jeff, Rashawn, all those guys have really filled in for Boyd's absence
Yes.
very well. But I feel like Dave might be thinking about bringing it back. And these fiddle players, they're not just playing all the hits; they're playing deep cuts too. Like Jake played "Drunken Soldier" in Texas. He
Yes.
played. I mean, they're
Yes.
playing some songs that are deep in their catalog, and the new song
Yes.
"Paper Town," which is absolutely amazing. I mean, Paper Town is an example that Dave Matthews, at 35 years into his career, can still write an outstanding piece of music. And
Amen.
all those
He can.
performances have been played with a fiddle player.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting times here. And that's another cool thing about Dave Matthews Band is their evolution, if you will. If you look at the 90s and then look at the 2000s, I always call them the decades, right? And then 2010s, 2020s, and just the beautiful changes, some hard changes along the way, but the way they've continued to push forward and how they have done so, um, it's been so beautiful, and it is still so beautiful to look back at that history and see the changes that they've made and how strong that they've stayed no matter what. And I think, these guys are just, I think they're always going to be looked upon as like masters of their trade because of how long they did it, but how much better they got in doing it, right? Like if you listen to 90s Dave and 2026, even though there was a lot of like maturity there, difference, and they sound completely different, but also Dave is doing better. Like he's never been better at guitar than he is now. Like he's never been better because he has so much experience now, and you can see that oozing through just that knowledge, that deep knowledge of doing something for that long. I mean, if we think of any other profession in life, someone that has welded for 35 years, they're probably going to be on the top of the game. They know solutions to problems and they're just good at that. Same way as musicians, which is their profession, they've just continued to get better. And really, styles have changed too, right? Just like our styles have changed and time has gone on, they've learned more. And so I think keeping the band with a revolving door, if you'll say, if you'll I think it's interesting. They love to play with other people that's known. I mean, Dave's done Dave and Friends, and there's just that's never been discounted that they love guests, and so I'm so excited to see what they're going to do next. And if they bring a fiddle player, awesome, great, I love it. I'm here for it. But if they don't, guess what? It's still awesome, and I'm here for it. Right? Like I'm just down with whatever they do because in my eyes, right now, they can't do anything wrong
I wholeheartedly
musically
agree,
at
and
all.
I really liked your point. If they don't bring a fiddle player on full time, that's not a problem. We get to see many
No.
other talented musicians get to step up on that stage with this amazing band and show the world their abilities, and everyone will just love them. I've seen this band with several guests. I've seen them perform with Derek Trucks, Susan Tedeschi, Zach
Mhm.
Brown, Bela Fleck, Rick from Goose. His last name, way too many letters for me to
Yeah.
say. And even Jake Simpson at the Gorge. Last year,
Yes.
I mean, they love playing with other people, and I love getting to see other talented musicians bring their own music and playing style and
Mhm.
integrating it into my favorite band. It's it's wonderful to
Yeah,
see, honestly.
it really is, and what a spotlight he or the band is putting on these people. I mean, Jake Wilson, yes, Jake Wilson, what am I talking about? Jake Simpson, words, like you said, last names and words are hard. Jake Simpson really got a spotlight put on him, and it's still such a big spotlight on him, and not that he's not in a well-known band. He is in a well-known band, but he's not the lead or of the band. I think in the, what's the guy's name?
Lucas
Uh,
Nelson.
whose band is he in? Yeah, Lucas Nelson. Lucas Nelson sings and guitar, and Jake plays guitar in that band. So it's so completely different. But all it took was for Dave Matthews Band to ask him on stage to play the fiddle because he also does that. He also sings, like he does all this stuff. And people can't stop talking about him now. I mean, how nice of Dave Matthews Band to put that big spotlight on him so that his career could then in turn be successful, right? It's almost like they're passing torches, like here's the next people to follow. And I love that thought too of just using their platform as a way to elevate emerging people that they think, yo, we got to watch these dudes because they're coming up and they are doing good things. And I love that part of it. So whether or not they're going to be part of Dave Matthews Band or not, what a great thing for them to get to do as musicians, and what a really nice thing it is for this band to get to help out musicians that are either just starting or are not in their highest point in their career yet. So it's super exciting. And of course with Jake, and I'm sure the rest of the people that have guested, they're fans of this music. Like it's a big deal for them to get to perform with Dave Matthews Band because they can understand the dedication that they've put into this music. And I don't know, just all sides of this are great. And so, we'll get to see what happens, but it's cool to just think about all of the different ways it could
I
go.
mean, no matter what happens, if it's Jake, if it's someone else, or nobody, it's really just cool to get to see all these people perform. And Jake specifically, I was at the
Yes.
Gorge in for the 2025 summer tour, and
Awesome.
right when Jake walked out on that stage to play "Lie in Our Grave," there weren't many people who knew who he was. I know those who saw him in Montana
Mhm.
with Lucas's band know who he is, or other, musical nerds, kind of like myself, but I haven't heard of him at that point. And when the crowd saw him walk out with that violin, the place just erupted, and we knew that we were going to get something special. And right when his solo of "Lie in Our Grave" started, I knew that this guy had a lot of talent. He came back the next night. He came back the following night. And now he's back in 2026. We saw him in Mexico. We saw him at Farm Aid. And man, I mean, that guy is just so talented, so incredible at his
Mhm.
craft. And I hope to see him during the summer this year. I'm not sure if he does, since he's playing a lot
You
of gigs
never
with
know.
Lucas. But
Right.
even if my only ever time seeing him with Dave in person was at the Gorge, I'll always be grateful for that.
Yeah. He's a really cool talent. If you're not following him on all the socials, do it. Congratulations, Jake. If you happen to listen to this one, he was on the show not too long ago. Congratulations, you just got engaged. That's such a big, and like we get to watch all this unravel, and it's so cool. So his life is really in a great spot right now, and I'm so excited for him and for all the other people that we are yet to be introduced to, right? Like, what's next? Are they going to bring on someone else that we don't know about? Of course they are, because that's what they do. And musicians know musicians, right? And they're fans of music as well. They're not necessarily fans of themselves, right? Because like that's what they do. That's their job or whatever. So they have musical people, artists that they watch as well and are fans of. And I love that they always share other music with us. Jeff was in the park in New York City, I guess on Friday or Saturday when they were playing. I guess it was Friday. And he was just live streaming a little jazz trio on the street. And so it's just so cool that they continue to want to share other people's music as well. That way, gosh, we'll be so well rounded thanks to Dave Matthews Band because they throw out all kinds of different musicians and just about anyone would fit in. Whether you want to rock out on the guitar, come on over to Timmy's side. Let's do this, right? Like whatever musician you want, they could bring it into Dave Matthews Band and we would find a flow for sure. Are there any songs like, and that's so hard. I'm going to ask a hard question. I don't necessarily have a favorite song. The songs find me, like, in my time, and I'm not always even aware that that song is going to find me. Right now, I'm really stuck on and this wasn't even yesterday, this happened today. I've always loved this song, but it's funny when songs find you and you just resonate with the words so much more in that moment, other than in the past. Mother, Father, I was listening to it. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about that song and how bad it needs to be played?
I mean, my buddies and
Let's do it.
I'm in a group chat with a few guys, and we're all just advocating for the return of Mother Father. I've listened to both the studio version and the Warehouse compilation with that song on it with Carlos Santana on guitar. And
Mm,
what a great song. Like,
mm,
just the lyrics, and again, are great.
mhm.
And the music composure is really great as well. I would love to, even if they just played it once more and in front of their biggest fans, let us all hear it live. They have never played what Mother Father in my entire lifetime. It has been played since 2001. I
Wow.
was born in 2002. I didn't even exist the last time the band played this song. So bring
Wow.
it back for me and all the other second generation Dave Matthews Band fans. What a
Right.
great song,
And
too.
let's bring on Santana.
Yeah, bring
Like,
on
I loved
Santana,
him and he
too.
could fill the part for sure, but, like, bring Santana. He's still very active in his career and is touring around still. Let's get them together. Like, let's keep doing this while we can because, tomorrow we may die, and that's a lyric of Dave Matthews Band. I try to keep that in the forefront in the top of my brain. He does talk about that a lot, like, be present today. Look for all the things that you have now and all of this good advice. And it's really woke me up in a way of just, hey, we save and we save and we do all of these things and we go, we're going to do this then. But what if there is no then?
Exactly.
Do things while you can. And one of those things is see Dave Matthews Band while you can, because we're not promised tomorrow. Again, 35 years this year. Um, if you haven't ever seen them live, that's okay. I believe there are the hugest fans that have never had the opportunity because, especially if you live overseas, there's not a lot of opportunities to see them And so, if you do get the opportunity, if they come near you or you have a chance to travel, see this band while you can, because tomorrow we're not promised. And again, this is such a big year. I think it's a good year to watch them. And what do you think? I'm going to ask you a question. I like to hear other people's perspectives when I've been rolling around thoughts in my brain. What do you think about, because this year is 35 years? What do you think about a fall tour?
I would love a fall tour. So obviously, I'm going to address the room. Chicagoland got snubbed from the tour schedule, which is okay. That just gives us more opportunity to travel and see new places of our great country and even visit old places that we've traveled to before. But I really like the
Yeah,
idea of a fall tour. There haven't been any indications that they won't be doing a fall tour. So
that's true.
come to the United Center
So we'll believe it
here
until
or
they say
go to
no.
Charlottesville, Virginia, go to Madison Square Garden, pack
That's what I
those
want.
arenas and
Yeah.
keep on going. The fans would love a fall tour.
Yeah, it could be I mean, it could can you imagine, like, I would love to be, like, part of the marketing team for Dave Matthews Band, like, "Let's go, I'm gonna be on every street corner," but, like, a 35th anniversary fall tour, and, like, that's what it's called, and, I mean, it's just celebrating the whole way. I would love to do that. So, hey, let's do that, right? Like,
I'd be
I'm sure
in,
it's
yeah.
planned behind closed lips and locked doors. Something's gonna happen, and I can't wait for that to come out. It's the next thing that we're all expecting, but let's stay in the now for right now. Let's talk about some of the shows that have already happened. Like you mentioned Dallas earlier. It was such a great show. Such a great show. Wow, I was so wowed and I was like, that's the show to beat for a while. And then, West Palm Beach comes and then it just, again, they're climbing up that ladder and I don't know if it's planned. I don't know anything about how they do this, but in my brain, it keeps getting like more and more exciting. So I know that you are excited because your tour is just about to begin. So tell us where you're going this year. And we're going to talk about each one of those little places and their venues. I like to talk about the venues, especially for the three that you're going to this year, because there's some pretty cool things about these venues. So let's talk about, where are you going first?
So we're gonna start off our year up in Shakopee, Minnesota, at the brand new Mystic Lake Amphitheater, and we saw the Dave Matthews Band the previous time they were in Minnesota at the Target Center, and that show has always been so special to me because that's another one. We were in Omaha, Nebraska the night before, and we kind of just went on a whim. We got seats on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and they just blew our minds. Like they opened with So Right. They played songs like The Maker and Grace Street, Water into Wine. They put in the set, the riff, closing it all off with
Wow.
Two Step. That show will always be one of my
Oh,
favorites, and I'm excited to go back to the Minneapolis, St. Paul area because Minneapolis is a great city. I've been up there a handful of times in my life, and I love Minnesota, whether if it's the Mall of America, which is awesome if you've ever been there. Like
I've never been. I've never
the
been.
size of that building, it's unbelievable. They have four different Victoria's Secret stores in the mall because it's so big
What?
that it takes
Okay.
so long to walk around all four levels, and then they have the
Wow.
giant amusement park in the middle, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
that place is crazy sensory overload, but it's so cool because like everything looks cool to see. I love. I'm very
Right.
visual. Like I like
Mhm.
visual stuff, and that place is visually
Yeah.
appealing. But yeah, brand new venue, Mystic Lake. It'll actually
Yes.
be the
Yes.
second show they've ever done there. I think Machine Gun Kelly is
Well, I
doing the
like to
first
say
one.
the first. No, I looked at their schedule. The first night that they're doing anything, and correct me if I'm wrong, and by the time this comes out, we may be going, well, she was wrong. I looked at their schedule and they are having like a soft opening, like, let's figure out all the kinks and do this. But it looks like it's just like local bands, local stuff happening just to kind of celebrate the opening of this. And then from what I read, like the next show is Dave Matthews Band. So technically, I like to say it's the first show. Again, I could be wrong, but we've been saying Dave Matthews Band is going to open up this venue. And technically, whether he is the first or second, whatever, he is opening up this brand new
They're
amphitheater.
the
It
first
has such a
real
lovely
show
name.
at this venue. They're the first
There we
real
go.
show.
There we
I'll
go.
call it that. They're the first real big headlining show to open up there.
Yes.
And we actually,
So
fun fact,
exciting.
not fun to talk about now, but not fun in the moment. We actually had a ticket scare with that venue. And I laugh about this now because it was my fault at the end of the day. But when my dad, my sister, and I plan out tour dates, we're all kind of responsible for, we split up the shows, so I
Yeah.
request for these shows, my sister requests for the
Yeah.
different shows, and my dad requests for the remaining shows. It was my duty to do Minneapolis as one of them, and I put in a request for tickets and premier parking because we do premier parking everywhere. We just like to get out as
Uh-huh.
fast as possible after the show because we're
Sure.
driving like an hour and a half toward our next show the following day, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
soon. But it turns out, coincidentally enough, I see on their Facebook group, tickets are sold out. And I'm like, wow, they did really well. I look at my warehouse confirmation. I got denied lawn tickets. Don't know how that ever happened, but
What?
I got denied tickets. It may have just been my card detecting fraud activity, which has happened to me before, but I guess I
Sure.
never
Yeah.
responded to it. We ended up getting tickets. We ended up getting lawn tickets. We're going to the show, but that little scare in the moment really freaked me out because I was like, I paid $130 for this parking pass and we have an Airbnb book.
Right.
That'd be really bad if we didn't get in the doors, but everything's worked out,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know. But
Yay.
yeah,
It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that show. I mean, how many more venues will they open? Although there are a lot of new venues being built. I know that there's a new one being built north of Dallas, and everyone down here kind of believes it's going to take over Dos Equis, and Dave won't play at Dos Equis anymore. He'll play at this new, because it is Live Nation owned. So we'll see. There's a lot of really new, cool venues opening, and we'll see how many Dave gets to open. But we're excited to be at this show where he's opening this one. You could never guess the set list. You could never guess anything, but I'm excited to be there. And I've never been to that state before. So it's a first for me.
yeah, Minnesota as a whole, as a state, southern Minnesota, it's a lot of like farmlands, typical like Iowa, you
Yeah,
know. But if you get up
sure.
north, which is not the direction we're going, just a lot of woodsy areas, lots of pine trees
Hmm.
and lakes. They call it like the land of 10,000 lakes or something like that because literally there are so
Oh,
many
yeah.
bodies of water up there. But Minneapolis as a city, it's really cool, and they have like a lot of murals dedicated to Prince and to their sports teams.
Awesome. Oh, but
And
was he from there?
yeah, from Minneapolis. I
Awesome.
don't. I'd love for
Okay.
them to bring back Sexy MF and play the Prince cover for Minnesota. I think that would be really cool.
Maybe they
You never
will.
know.
Maybe they will, right? Let's speak it into the universe. Hey, let's do that would be so cool. I would love that. I would love that. So after Minnesota, what's next? Because we know you got a three show. Actually, it's a 4 show run.
Yeah, so our second show on our 4 show run is Kansas City at the brand new Morton Amphitheater. And I've never been to Kansas City before, never been to the state of Kansas, never been to Western Missouri. So all of this will be
It's
brand
actually in
new. It
Missouri.
is in Missouri.
Yeah.
I kept saying for the longest time that it was in Kansas, and we have really good friends of ours that we consider family now that live in Kansas City. They corrected me like, yeah, it's Missouri, and it's all good.
It's one of those cities that falls in both states,
Yeah,
so there
there's a
is a
Kansas
there is a
City,
Kansas side,
Kansas,
there's a
a
Missouri side.
Kansas City, Missouri, but the
Uh-huh.
bigger Kansas City is in Missouri, oddly enough.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Kansas City's gonna be fun. I hope that you get there and have some time to just do the town. There's so much there. If you go downtown, they have a really cool, it's called like Power or Red, or some kind of light district. Of course, Hallmark is their headquarters is there. They have a really cool like shopping area. So there's a lot to do in Kansas City. Of course, if you want to go by and see the Chiefs Stadium, although they're building a new one on the Kansas side.
Yeah,
Did you know
they're
that?
moving to
Kansas City,
they're moving
Kansas.
to Kansas, just like my Chicago Bears are moving to Indiana. So 2 teams are crossing over state
Yeah.
lines, and we'll be
Well, I'm
driving
sure the
by
land was
we'll be
cheaper.
driving by Arrowhead Stadium on the highway very briefly before going to our next shows. But
It's old. It's old. They need a new one. We're excited they're getting one. Plus, why not? Right? Right. The land is cheaper in
I could
Kansas. So you
imagine
got to
that.
start
Yeah.
moving out that way. It's just so flat. Kansas is a beautiful state. I have a best friend from there, but it is like none other. It is very flat. And that's why it's like Tornado Alley, just like Oklahoma, very flat state. But yeah, Kansas City is going to be a lot of fun. It's been a while since they've played there, so I'm excited that I've been begging because again, it's only 3 hours from my home, and so that feels like a hometown show. I wish they would come to Kansas City more, so I'm excited. But they're also going to be playing at a really new amphitheater there in Kansas City, Missouri, called the Morton amphitheater, I think. And I didn't even know that Morton salt, if you don't know what Morton is, Morton salt is like the salt that you buy in the blue thing with the girl with the umbrella. That's
Yeah.
Morton. And that is the brand new amphitheater that just opened this month in Kansas City. So it's going to be beautiful. You know, we're one of the very first fan waves to come in. And so I'm excited. It's nothing I've ever done before. And so Kansas City will have like a new thing for me too, even though I've been there many times. So what's after Kansas City?
Up next, we are doing our first multi-night run of the year at Deer Creek, which is I was actually born in the state of Indiana, and we lived in Noblesville, probably less than a mile away from the amphitheater. And part of me wishes that we never moved from Indiana so we could just go to
Right?
every single show there and just take in the beauty of that place because I love Deer Creek so much. My first creek end was 2021, and we haven't missed it ever since. And we're never going to miss another creek end again. And
The vibes there are different than everywhere else, and that's kind of the chase on trying to go to all the venues is you'll kind of figure out, like, where the band picks to go or whoever picks to go. Like, dude, the places are so awesome, and what else would bring you to Noblesville, Indiana? There's cornfields, and that's about it there. But once upon a time, they built a venue there that used to be called Deer Creek. And now, officially, it's not called that anymore. It's called like the Ruoff Music Center, music, whatever. But it'll always be Deer
it's
Creek
Deer
to us.
Creek, yeah. There's
It's Deer Creek.
no if
Yeah.
or what. It's just Deer Creek. And even as someone
Dave fans are always going to
who's
call it Deer
never
Creek.
been there when it was actually called Deer Creek, it'll always be Deer Creek.
Oh, me either. That's right. I was told up front, like, yo, it's not Ruoff. This is Deer Creek. And so, like, I never have I spoke the name of Ruoff except for saying what it says on the sign when you get there. It's not going to say Deer Creek. But it's a great venue. It's a Saturday night show. So lots of camping, lots of tailgating. Does your family like tailgating?
We love tailgating. So this is actually a perfect segue into something that me and my dad and my sister love to do, and that is showing up to the venue many hours early and sort of just camping out. We're big poster collectors now, so we mainly try and find the venues that have the outside merchandise tents, and we will, for Deer Creek especially, you know, we park at the senior citizens complex across the street, and we walk a bunch of folding chairs across the street and set up camp for the day and wait to get our posters. Because there was one instance at a show at Alpine Valley in 2019 where we missed a poster, and we never want to do that again because the resellers, the people who sell them on Facebook, sell them for like 3 or 4 times the price at minimum. So that's just a risk not willing to take. Even if it's one that we don't like, we're still lining up hours
you
early.
Get them all?
We get every show.
Okay.
Every show we get them all.
Okay.
And every show that we go to, we get them all. We used to be crazy with other shows.
Right.
We swore we're not doing that anymore, even though we still make financially irresponsible decisions. I have to put financially irresponsible in air quotes because I'm a firm believer that the money will always come back, and I'm a very live in the moment kind of person. And yeah, we line up, especially at Deer Creek. I feel like we've made a community of early poster line at Deer Creek.
I bet.
We met a few people that would line up with us early, and every year ever since it would grow and grow and grow. And now, once it hits 12 o'clock, noon, 4 hours before the merch tent opens, the line's like a quarter of a mile long. Whereas in the early stages, it was just us and like 3 other people that started that trend.
Yeah. So what do you do with your folding chairs? Like, what do you do when the gates open? Do you run in, or do you like go get your car? Like, what do you do?
So when usually at Deer Creek specifically, parking lots open before the merch tent opens. So one of us will just walk across the street, drive in like normal, and we leave all the stuff there. I know other venues like Alpine Valley have like super early entry where you can pay extra to tailgate all day, and that's kind of what we
Oh,
do.
wow. Yeah.
My dad was a former chef, and he makes lots of grilled cheeses,
Awesome.
tons of different flavors he's made.
Yeah.
I want to pull up all the flavors that he's going to make this year because
Heck yeah, let's talk about grilled
it's
cheese, one
really
of my
impressive. Because
favorites.
concert lot grilled cheese, it's one of my favorite snacks.
Dude, I've never had one. I gotta find you guys one day. I want a parking lot
Parking lot grilled
grilled
cheeses
cheese.
are great, you know, but he made like this little menu this year, and he's making 5 different types of
Ooh,
grilled cheeses with tons of
oh
different
my gosh.
ingredients and all. You know, there's like the regular one, just the 2 slabs of bread and the cheese, but
Yeah.
he's making like a bruschetta style grilled cheese. That's one that a lot of people really like,
Heck yeah.
which is all ingredients
Yeah.
that come in bruschetta. There's going to be a breakfast one, which is going to be French toast, cinnamon swirled with American cheese,
Mm,
sausage and eggs in it.
hell
There's a
yeah.
pizza
Oh
style one.
my
Like
god.
it's he comes up with all these great ideas, and people like are friends of ours and strangers that we've never met just love it. And my dad is
Yeah,
known as
well,
being like
yeah.
the grilled cheese chef for the Dave Matthews Band community. And it's really cool.
No
I always have
way.
friends of ours asking for me, like, hey, you know, I don't know if I want to show up early. Will I be fed grilled cheese? I'm like, you know the answer to that question. He
Okay.
always cooks more food than he needs. You'll be fed.
Oh,
But
man, that's awesome. I'm gonna if I end up at Deer Creek this year, I will definitely look for the grilled cheese.
hit me up. You know, we'll be in
I'll
the
text you,
poster
I'll be like,
line.
"Where are you?" Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I love that so much. It sounds so fun to have that as being part of your family tradition and doing that, with the ones that you love the most. And then also growing your family in size because we know that the community of fans has really kind of grabbed a hold of you guys. And so, if when did you really kind of become privy to the information that the Dave Matthews Band fans had a community that was like no others? When did you really start getting involved into the community of
I guess
fans?
like the late 2021 into early 2022 seasons, which those were the years. 2021 was our first year where we did multiple
Yeah.
tour stops. You know, we did 8 shows that year, which was mind blowing for us at the time, which pales in comparison to the 13 we did in 2023. But
Holy moly.
yeah, you know, every year I always say our groups just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I say that in the kindest way because every year I meet more amazing people. And I feel like that's the knot that really ties this whole Dave Matthews Band journey together is all the people you meet along the way from all different corners of the country. And in our instance, we've met people from other countries in the world. Like
Yeah.
I'm good friends with a guy from Wales.
Mhm.
Where I'm blanking again on the country names, which that's a common theme, but
All over the world.
all over the world,
Yeah.
we'll say, yeah. But we've just gotten accepted as friends with many amazing people, and I'm grateful for every single person that I've met along the way. And it's really cool because now
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in Midwest hospitality, and
Heck yeah.
at Deer Creek and at the Gorge, which I forgot to mention the other shows I'm doing this year. I'm doing Grand Rapids, Denver,
Oh, well, yeah.
and the Gorge, another new venue,
Oh my
and all
goodness.
the ones out
You're
west.
sweeping.
But we literally have we're lawn people. Like we used to be in the seats and in the
Yeah.
pit, and it's great. Like I love being up close,
Sure.
but
Get Yeah, yeah.
w-
But it's a lot of
it's a
work.
lot of work, and it's just worth it to be out in the lawn with all our people because that's where everyone truly gets
Yes.
together in one confined
Right.
area. Whereas, you know, we have someone in section D, someone's in section E, someone's in section Q. We're all far away with the
Yeah.
seats. But some, you know, Gorge last year and Deer Creek last year, we had like 40 plus people in our group, all friends that know each
Oh,
other. And I don't want to say they've met each other through us because I feel like that's kind of an arrogant way to put it. But we've all kind of just blended in as a community together and as a big family. And it's really great. We all sit together at all the shows, and it's so cool to get to
that's so
experience
cool.
these shows at so many different cities all over the country with everyone. It's a
Yeah.
blessing, really.
Oh, that's really awesome. That's really awesome. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I want everyone to document their story on this podcast is because in like 20, 30, 40 years, dude, when you rewatch this, you're going to be like, I was living my life, right? Like I was doing all my favorite things. And what a fun thing to get to reflect back on and to remember these trips with your family that, sometimes we forget all the details, right? So you're doing a lot of documenting and not only for you and your family, but for all the listeners that really want to hear about how did someone else really get into this music? Because they know their story, but they don't know. Did everyone else find Dave Matthews Band this way? Like, did you find them on the radio? Where in the world did you find them? And so it's really cool. I'm so happy that you shared your story with us. And we're definitely going to look for you on the road. So, guys, if you're listening to this and you're going to be in Minnesota, or let's see if I can remember Minnesota, Missouri, get it right.
Missouri,
It's not
not
Kansas, right?
Kansas,
Missouri. No, Indiana, Colorado, and
and
Washington.
Michigan.
And Michigan. Oh my gosh, that's just so many amazing stops. Think about like just those stories alone in just the road trip. All the fun you guys are going to have just hitting all the stops, the in between, right? The space between the shows, right? That's going to be so much fun too, and it really does add to the story of tradition and meeting new people and having new experiences and traveling our country is one of the most beautiful things that I've done is look at all the different states and places we would have never gone before and how each state is very distinct, right? They have their own whatever, and there's beautiful parts of some states and ugly parts of the same state. They're all very different within themselves too. So getting to travel to these little towns and big cities and all of the things in between, it's really, really cool to see this country and remember how beautiful it is. Because, man, we've got an amazing country. It's just so, so, so beautiful. And I'm excited that there's that one thing that gets to get us all to travel together, right?
Oh yeah.
It's the one thing that we can count on, like, oh, I'm going to see some friends there and never feel like you're showing up to a new state and you don't know anybody or anyone and it's weird. No, like, you're probably going to know somebody because as we talked about earlier before we started recording, Dave Matthews Band is kind of jokingly known as only having 35,000 fans, but they all go to every show, right? So you're bound to pick up on it if you hit a couple of shows. But let's talk about not being able to hit those shows because that's a whole nother side of the fan story that we don't talk about often, but it's such a reality for so many people because life is hard, right? Like it's hard to travel, it's expensive to travel. And then with children and jobs and just all the things that it takes to leave home, we've got, so many fans of Dave Matthews Band that aren't able to travel. And what a gift things like the couch tour is to so many people and all of the social media groups and clubs and all the things that there are regarding Dave Matthews Band. And then, of course, a dedicated station on Sirius XM, Channel 30, Dave Matthews Band Radio. Like, how cool that we have so many ways to keep up with not only like historical parts, because of course on Sirius XM, the guys do such a great job of telling us in this, on this date, like whatever happened and trying to make you like remember that this band has so much history. And so we are so privileged to be able to have so many ways to get it. But of course, Couch Tour is at the top of the list for being able to see the shows. Is that something that you guys watch when you're not? Oh, you talked about that earlier, right? You do ride the couch a lot. And how thankful are we to have people sacrifice their arm muscles? Like that's not something I think I could do is just hold it steady for however long.
I know I wouldn't be able to do that because I move too much at these shows. Like
Oh yeah, me too. I'm a
I
dancer.
cannot sit still when listening to this band, and
How could you? It just comes
it's not
out.
even it's not possible. In Kansas City, I'm going to be at the show with someone who's a first timer, and I hope they won't be mad at me for
Ooh,
sharing this, but they said that he told me like I'm not a dancer. I'm probably going to be sitting for the entire show, and I'm like, just
that's
wait
cool.
until 3 or
That's
4 songs
okay.
in. I guarantee you'll be moving right with me. I never thought I'd be a dancer, and my body moves in ways to this music that I never thought it could move before. And it really it sounds crazy to most people when you say that the music flows through you. But that's really how I feel
Mhm.
when both at the show or even at home, you know. Man, if
Yeah.
my neighbors ever saw me dancing to this band at home, they'd put me in a ward, a mental ward for
Like, are
Pete's
you having
sake.
a
Like,
seizure?
it's crazy just how much energy I get from listening to this band, but very grateful for every
Right. It's
couch torch
amazing.
streamer who had,
Yes.
I'm one of those people who says, sing all you want. You bought the ticket, you're there, and you're doing us a
Hell yeah.
service. Enjoy your show
Right.
to your fullest capacity. And I love it, getting to feel and experience other people's excitement with them. It's really, really cool. And
True.
like I
True.
know, like I
It's
said,
like their point of
like I
view.
said, I'm not the host of the show, but there's something I really wanted to bring up, and that is a chase song of mine that I've had throughout my entire DMB career. It was "What You Are," which another just
Ooh,
powerful Dave Matthews Band song. And the
yes.
origins of me really liking that song is almost hilarious because when I was little, another young version of me in middle school, listening to this band, and I listened to a live recording of "What You Are," and at the end of the song, I don't know if it's a family show or not, so I'm gonna keep it PG. But Dave says,
Yeah.
you lay down on your knees, mother effer, and I'm like, whoa, Dave just said a naughty word. That is so cool. I thought it was cool when I was little, which is hilarious to say now because as an adult, those lyrics they really resonate to me, and it's a song that has
Right.
always stuck with me throughout all those years. And
Yeah.
it took me 59 shows to finally get "What You Are" in my home city of Chicago. And my
Wow.
phone was just blowing up. Like people living vicariously through me when that song finally got played. Met up with Rodrigo, amazing photographer for this band, told him about it.
Yes.
He gave
Yes.
me and everyone in my group one of Stefan's bass picks, which he says he doesn't give out to
Wow.
people. I didn't even know that was an option. We all got a bass pick. He had like a little bag full of, and he just handed them out like candy on
What?
Halloween. But also we ran into Rab, which we all love Rab.
Uh-huh.
What
Oh,
a
yes.
kind,
Vocal
what a
coach.
kind, outgoing soul he is. We showed him the video when
Truly.
I first heard the song. I literally fell to my knees when they first started playing it. Like, I've been chasing this song for 10 years. I've been to all the big venues. I've been to Gorge, Deer Creek, Alpine, Madison Square Garden in New York. And it took me that long to get it. And at the end of the show, I got the set list, which is great.
Wow.
And that show eventually
Wow.
became Live Tracks 72, and it got released on my birthday.
What? My gosh. You hit the
Yeah,
lottery. You had to wait 10 years, but you won it.
yeah, no, it was worth it because it's a complete coincidence that show became a live. It was announced or released to the
Of
public
course. Yeah.
on my actual birthday, and it featured the first performance of my Chase song. And my favorite song, "The Last Stop," was on that show too, so that made it even better. But
Dude. Yeah, you'll never forget
oh,
that
I'll
show.
never forget it. Yeah. If I didn't
Never.
get the whole album of Before These Crowded Streets at the Gorge, that Chicago show would be number one, and it would clear with Street Shoes.
Right.
But that going back to the couch tour and going back to just being online, living through people vicariously, whether someone's getting their Chase song or whether if it's someone's first show, this band just knows how to create so much magic every stop along the way, and it's truly wonderful to experience both my
Absolutely.
dreams and goals with this band as long as other people that I'm with.
Right. Right. It's really cool to get to watch someone get their song because we do a lot, that's a question that a lot of people ask is like, what are you chasing? Like, what's your next song? And some people don't have one, and that's cool. They're happy with whatever. But there are a lot of people that have this song that they've just never heard live and they'd like to hear it, right? And so that was for yours. So for those that knew and to get to watch you during that moment, I'm sure that was just like an emotional moment for everyone because it's so cool that to see you get something that you've chased and to be living in that moment for a minute. Yeah, you can never forget it, ever, ever. And I hope that everyone gets a chance to feel that does travel for the band. There's so many songs in their catalog and you just never know what they're going to play, And so it's a gamble every time. And that's why you really can't go into a show saying, I hope I hear XYZ. You just almost have to say, I'm here. I'm ready to receive whatever they wish upon us, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you
This
never
isn't
know.
supposed
You
to
never know.
sound negative, but like I go into every show with almost no expectations. I just want to be in the moment. Of course, prior to me getting What You
Yes.
Are, I'm like, I really want to hear that song. I've been chasing it forever and ever and ever. But especially now at this point, Minneapolis will be my 65th show. The third night, the Gores will be 75
Wow.
for me. And I have seen
No way.
so many great performances from this band where it's just like, take the keys, Dave. Show me what you got.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here for anything
Yes.
now. And it's
Right.
cool to get to say that, but it's also cool, like you said, to be around people who get their chase songs. And for those listening who haven't gotten their chase song, it literally feels like a euphoric, like a big life moment, like graduating high school or driving for the first time or like skydiving. It's one of those once in a lifetime moments that you will never forget. And I will go
Yes.
to the grave remembering when I first heard What You Are and just the buzz around me during that moment. It was unbelievable. And as of now, I don't currently have a chase song, but when I do, I can't wait to experience that feeling a second time.
Right. Right. Because sometimes you're not chasing, whatever you don't know you're chasing it. And then they pull it out and you're like, wow, why has that never been on the list? And one song I'm like gonna never stop talking about, but this year I'm like making it my anthem, Crazy Easy. It's been a while. It's been since
Yeah.
2013. And even that was a surprise when I was played a few times in 2013 because it was like 2004, 2005 that they kind of came out with that. And I love to do a compare and contrast, which is what I spent my weekend doing. Some nerdy history. I was like, I'm going to listen to the first Crazy Easy and then some middles and then the last,
Yeah.
right? And like compare everything. And I like was writing shit down, like taking notes of this experiment that I'm doing. That's my idea of a fun weekend. But I see so much potential for it to happen
Oh, I
again
do
because,
too.
dude, can you imagine what it would sound like with this band right now? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's one that would be epic to listen to it come back.
Epic.
Same with Kit Kat Jam. I put both of those songs. It's
Yes.
funny because I had the conversation with multiple people about before the year started, like what is the most sought after song that most of the hardcore fans want to hear. 1A was Kit Kat Jam, 1B was Crazy Easy. Tied, literally tied.
No
Like
way.
the consensus top two songs were Kit Kat Jam and Crazy Easy. We already got one. Who's to say we aren't going to get the other? And especially
hold out for Minnesota, right? Like, let's go Minnesota.
Let's go Minnesota. The band will be coming off a break. 10 days they're going to be off the road.
Yes.
Why not polish
Time
off?
to hear this podcast. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's do it. Polish off Crazy Easy. That would make the
Let's
whole
go.
entire
Get everybody
trip.
ready.
I'm all in.
I'm so in. And if that happens ever, gosh, I just hope to be there because to be at home, like I'd be so excited, but also like a little sad. Like, it's like I want that. I wanted that.
I really wanted to be at the show where they liberated Kit Kat Jam, and I wasn't in Texas, so obviously I wasn't there. I'm not mad about it though because I know that I will get to hear it at some point. The band's going to play it, and it'll feel like I hit the liberation when I got it. When I'm hearing it live for the first time. But
right,
I'm scared to know what my reaction is going to be when I first hear that song because it's going to be out of control. Literally, it's going to be out of control.
Well, I hope that I get to see you do that. I love the lawn. It is, I feel the same way about you. Like I can have everybody with me and then be in like one central location where it's easy for me to say, well, I'm going to be here. If you want to come find me, like, cool, this is where we're chilling or whatever. I love the pit. I love reserved. But in the reserved seats, you don't always know who you're going to sit next to. And what if they like won free tickets and are not cool about being there? I need all the energy from people that are so excited to be there. I need that. And like, I love the pit too, but also it's really hard. And I'm not the girl that wants to show up at 8 a.m. or 2 p.m. or whatever it is and sit in line. Like I want to spend my day like having the best day with all my friends and then show up like before the music starts, like like a rock star
Yeah.
does, right? Like I'm gonna show up in the pit in the very back, and I'm cool with that, you know. I love whatever. I like to just be in the building, and honestly, I could say if I were in the parking lot, I would still be having a party.
Yeah, if
Totally down with it.
in another universe where we didn't find Minnesota tickets, we'd probably be right there in that parking lot, just having the best time listening to the band.
Yeah.
And that is what it's all about, just enjoying the music and being there with the
Yes.
community. I am still very glad that we got in the door, though, and I could put that little scare behind us. But it the 2026, it's going to be a great year. It's almost like they got off Labor Day weekend and they just continued playing. Like they haven't stopped the beat. And especially with all these bigger
Right.
venues like Creek and SPAC and Gorge coming our way, I have no idea what they're going to do, but they're going to find a way, like you said, to just do it better.
Yeah, they always do. They always find a way, and that's why we continue to chase them is because they can't stop, won't stop surprising us, and we love it. We live for it, and they know what they're doing to us. They love this little game of like cat and mouse where they're like, "Here you go. Oh, but wait, we're not going to do that." Like they play with their fans, and I love that so much because I'm in the game. I'm here for whatever they want to throw
Oh,
at me
definitely.
or whatever they wanna tease, you know, because like, that's a whole thing, and, I mean, you're playing with this, and I like that. Like, I dig that you care that much, Dave Matthews Band, to, like, play with us because 'cause we're here for it, and so, celebrate we will. We've got a lot of exciting things to look forward to and a lot of exciting things that have already happened, and again, this year, we celebrate 35 years. So, thanks for documenting your first half, hopefully, of Dave Matthews Band. I hope we have many more years ahead of us. And like I said earlier, whatever form it changes into after, somebody's unable to do something or, just time changes all of us. I'm excited that we have a very hopeful future ahead of us. So thank you so much for seeing the need to document the fan side of this music and why it's been successful and why it's helped heal, help save, helped so many people with just finding happiness. Like this music has done so much to the fans that we can't not document it. It's our duty to do this. And with that, I say, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube and you're like, I have a great story, or you could be saying, I don't have a story. And I always say that you're wrong. If you love Dave Matthews Band music, that is your story. And I would love all of you to come on this show and document your personal journey. It's for documentation, guys. We want people to know why it was that Dave Matthews Band was so successful. Yes, of course, it's because they are such amazing musicians who know so much about what they're doing and they're able to entertain people. But we have been the chosen that are entertained. And so our story is very important. And so, again, thank you for helping me document that. If you're watching this, there's an email on the screen right now that says where you need to send an email to that says, hey, I just want to be on the show. That's all I need to know. We'll get back with you, set up a time to do so, just like I did with Connor. Connor, how was this experience for you? Like did that whole email thing. We scheduled it. We're doing it. We've done it now, right? We've completed this episode. And so how does it feel? Like what would be some advice you would give to listeners that are listening that go, I don't know if I could do that. Like that would be scary or intimidating, or maybe my story's not as good as everyone else's. What would you say to
Well,
that?
let me definitely start by saying that everyone's story is great. I mean, if you're a listener to the Dave Matthews Band and if you're a fan of the Dave Matthews Band, this music has connected with you one way or another. And throughout all these years that I've been seeing this band and meeting a bunch of new people, it's just it's great to share. Whether if it's just I've been to one
Mhm.
show and it was the greatest night of my
Yeah,
life,
or zero.
or zero, yeah, or zero. Hey, I'm going to my
Right.
first show this year, and
Yeah.
here's my journey leading up to me wanting to go to this show. It's worth it. I'm a person who loves talking in
Yeah.
general. I love talking, but I love talking about the
It's
Dave
helpful.
Matthews Band way more. And it was a very fun experience. I'm very glad I got to be on the show.
Yeah, and I invite you back. I mean, our journeys continue. So there's more things in the future that are going to happen. So I invite you to come back when you've got a few more things, a few more years under your belt. And, I bet that conversation is going to be completely different than this one. So it'll be really cool to have two sides of your story or two times of your history documented. So I definitely invite you to come back. Guys, again, if you're listening to this, one of the things that you can do to help promote this show, and this is all I ask, if you can, write a review, give it some stars on whatever app that you're listening to this on. And what that does really is help put this into an algorithm where people that are listening to Dave Matthews Band or other Dave Matthews Band related podcasts, that all of a sudden this is going to go into their feed and start going, hey, have you checked this one out? I find a lot of people find it that way. So that's how you can help me, is by giving some star ratings, leaving a review. It can be 2 words. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, do all the things that you're supposed to do. When they all say subscribe and like this channel, right? So that you always know when a new episode is coming out. And of course, I am all over social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, whatever you can come up with. I think I'm on there. So check it out. See the vibes. Watch other people's stories. I put up shorts and clips of things that people have said all of the time. So watch the social media. You'll see who's coming up next, because we never know who it's going to be. It's whoever emails me and says, "Yeah, I want to do this show." So I'm so excited. I never know what the future is going to look like, but it's looking really good. 2026 is an epic year to document your story. So again, Connor, thank you so much. Guys, until the next time, we'll see you on the road. Peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band.